ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಲರ್ ಓನರ್ ಅವರು ಫಾಲೋ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅವರು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿ ಅವರು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್ನ ಬರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಈಗ ಸಮ್ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಹೇರ್ ಫಾಲ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ವೀಕ್ ಹೇರ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಹೇರ್ ಫಾಲ್ಸು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ನಿಂಗ್, ಸ್ಮೂತ್ನಿಂಗ್, ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್.
ಯಾವ ಥರ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್?
ಅದು ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಮೈಲ್ಡ್ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಸಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ತಿಕ್ ಹೇರ್ಗೆ ಸಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಕ್ರೀಮ್, ಬೇರೆ ಕ್ರೀಮ್ಸ್, ಅದು ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ವೈಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ತಿನ್ ಹೇರ್ಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ ತುಂಬ ಸೆನ್ಸಿಟಿವ್ ಹೇರ್ಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕ್ರೀಮ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಅವ್ರ ಹೇರ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ಕ್ರೀಮ್ ಸೂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸಮ್ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲೈಂಟು ಕೂಡ 3 ಡೇಸ್ಗೆ ವಾಶಿಗೆ ಬರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಲೂಸ್ ಹೇರ್ ಬಿಡಬೇಕು, ಟೈಟಾಗಿ ರಬ್ಬರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕಬಾರ್ದು, ಹೆಲ್ಮೆಟ್ ಹಾಕಬಾರ್ದು, 2 ವೀಲರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹೆಲ್ಮೆಟ್ ಬೇಕೇ ಬೇಕು. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಹೇಳಿ ಕಳಿಸಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಹೌದೌದು, ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ಲೈಂಟು ಕೂಡ ಫಾಲೋ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಷಿಯನ್ ಕೂಡ ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋವಾಗ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಹೇರ್ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಹೇರು ಇವ್ರದ್ದು ಹೇರ್ ಕಲರಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿದ್ಯಾ, ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಹೇರಾ, ಒರಿಜಿನ್ ಹೇರಾ. ಒರಿಜಿನ್ ಹೇರ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಹೇರ್. ಅವರು ಹೆನ್ನ ಆಗಲಿ ಕಲರ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಈಗ ಹುಡುಗಿರೆಲ್ಲ ಫಸ್ಟ್ PUC ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೇನೆ ಹೇರ್ ಕಲರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಕ್ಸ್, ಹೆವಿ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಕ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿಸಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಕಲರ್ ತುಂಬ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಲುಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣಬೇಕು, ಕಲರ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಆ ಕಲರ್ ಹೇರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಈ ಥರ ಹೇರ್ ಫಾಲ್ ಆಗೋದು ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತಗೋಬೇಕು. ಬಟ್ ಸಜೆಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗೋಂತ ಶಾಂಪೂಸು, ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಲೋಕಲ್ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ಸ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸು, ಮತ್ತು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಮನೇಲಿ ಇರೋಂಥ ಶಾಂಪೂಸ್, ಕಂಡೀಷನರ್ಸ್ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗಲೂ ಈ ಥರ ಹೇರ್ ಫಾಲ್ ಆಗೋ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಈಗ ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ನಾವು ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ನಿಂಗ್, ಸ್ಮೂತ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಶಾಂಪೂಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾವೇ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಮೈಲ್ಡ್ ಶಾಂಪೂಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಶಾಂಪೂಸ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಸೂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಈ ಥರ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ನ
curtail ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Let me get our medical experts in as well. Dr. Venkatram, under what circumstances do we normally see hair fall happening through such procedures? What are the primary causes?
In this instance, the hair straightening, what it involves is treatment of the shaft. So what you see on the surface, it is the dead portion of the hair. The living portion is inside the skin. This it's almost entirely made of protein called keratin. And the amount of curliness, thickness, all these are determined by disulfide bonds which are there. And these chemicals which they use to straighten, and also it's followed by heat in many situations, it breaks those disulfide bonds. And that can also damage the basic protein, which is keratin. When that happens, some amount of hair loss is very common. This has to be informed prior to the patient. Now, for medical treatments, there is what is called an informed consent. Beauty treatments are supposed to be temporary by nature. They are supposed to last a few days. So the concept of informed consent is not practiced so widely. But what is happening of late is the beauty procedures, those clinics are getting into medical procedures. They are doing more than what they should be doing. And often they don't have the wherewithal to handle that. And if something goes wrong, they don't know what to do. Now in this instance, the hair fall was not entirely unexpected. There are quite a few people who get it. The solution would have been to refer it to a dermatologist. As I said, this is the non-living portion of the hair. There is a growth cycle for each hair. Each hair grows, rests, and then falls. So that hair would have fallen off after some time, and the next generation of hair would have been normal. That straightening is not permanent for life. This had to be explained to the patient. So that is where something has gone wrong. She has complained to parents, she has felt very depressed. That is where your concept of body dysmorphia comes. I'm very glad you raised that issue, because that is becoming more and more common. These are the days of selfie, social media. You are putting your face on Facebook, you are putting it on Instagram, and then you study it. You look at a selfie and you say, where is my face wrong, nose is wrong, hair loss, everything you are analyzing. Previously such deep analysis never happened. And then you want to get some number of likes. If the number of likes is less, you get upset. So with all this, there is greater concern for it.
Absolutely.
And then there is a bombardment of advertisements. This can be done, that can be done, and this offer, that offer. It is not only going beyond medical treatments, it is getting into medical treatments and even surgeries.
That's right, that's right.
You might have noticed recently there was an offer, what is called a monsoon bumper offer for surgeries, that if you book in this day, you can win prizes up to 10 lakhs. Now, that is where all this is starting. And finally, there is no regulation.
It isn't.
What a clinic can do, if a beautician is there, what is her certification?
Yes.
What is she trained to do? There is no regulation that.
That's right.
So with the result, people are trying to do more than what you can do. And there are gullible young people, sometimes old people also are willing to try this. You might have heard some time back that there was a death after hair transplantation in Chennai. Today's paper it has come that a particular clinic, which is something like a spa, was fined 2 lakh rupees because they tried PRP and stem cell treatment. These are all things to be done by a dermatologist under proper care with standard guidelines with an informed consent. All that is given a go by when people become little more ambitious than what they should be.
Absolutely.
And in this case, if that young lady had seen a dermatologist, he would have handled it pretty easily. It was not a difficult thing to handle. It needed a little bit more counseling, both psychologically as well as with respect to the procedure.
Very, very pertinent point. Yes. Very pertinent point indeed. And that's where I also want to bring Dr. Girish into the picture as well. Dr. Venkatram was talking about there perhaps having to be a wall to be built between what is a beauty procedure and what is a medical procedure, and is there a fine line that is being crossed over here? In your experience, what have you encountered along those lines?
Now, this is a very unfortunate incident. Like every youth, it's a common tendency to look better, beautiful. Not youth, every human being, rather. So, in youth, they will have this, all those social media. Now, they are attracted to social media. I'm not looking good. Last week, I had a patient. He told me, doctor, make my nose little bit more beautiful so that it looks good in selfie.
That has been the reason. It's not a physiological reason. It's a vanity
the
reason.
The mindset is like that. You see a lot of serials, TV, movies and all. They want like look like their idols kind of thing. Have that one. But now in this case, like there are a lot of complex interplay of many factors are there. Like one, she did hair straightening. It's not like you can't blame on straightening. Don't do straightening and all. But she should have been properly informed about the pros and cons, what happens after straightening, what proper care she should take. One more thing, what happens is when reality and expectations don't meet, so then they go into this psychiatric disorder, unrealistic expectations. So, as you told, she went into depression most probably. So that's the golden time where they would have acted and consulted a proper dermatologist or a psychiatrist. That's the golden time. So if she would have been counseled properly at that time, it's a temporary, you will get back hairs later on. So should have lost her life. It's a very unfortunate incident. No?
Absolutely.
The thing is that we need certain guidelines like from the government, like who should do what.
Who should do what? Absolutely. That's the thing. And, since we're talking about body dysmorphia, dysmorphic disorder, where there's a fear that emerges that body will be shamed, whether it happens or not, that lingering fear sets in. I want to bring in your opinion, Pallavi. You're an actor yourself, and presumably with a considerable exposure to social media as well. There are certain unwritten expectations people seem to have, people who subscribe, for instance, to your channel, so to speak. The fact that there are these expectations assumed seems to be putting a lot of pressure, especially on young women. How would you comment?
Definitely. When you look at the bigger picture, what has happened today is really unfortunate, but it's an awakening for all of us. If a girl who was 18 years old has decided to kill herself just over her looks, that shows as a society all of us are equally responsible. We're putting so much pressure on the youth today, not just youth, everybody have to look good. Suppose I take a picture right now and somebody is not looking good in the picture, they say, okay, I'm not looking good, I don't want to post this picture.
Delete that.
So we are all so much pressurized to look good at all times. It's unrealistic. And especially as actors, people ask me, how do you maintain yourself? How do you look so good on screen and everything? I really want to mention this. When you see even Aishwarya Rai, for that matter, on screen, there goes a lot of work into making her look like that. There's a lot of makeup, there's a lot of digital interference, everything. But to people, it is as if she's naturally like that. So it's very, and the endorsements also, they portray in such a way that, okay, if you use a particular shampoo, your hair is actually that smooth flowing and so lustrous. But it's not true. That is what people have to understand, that it's okay to be natural and yourself. It's not necessary to always look good, perfect and like a princess all the time. That's not how we are. You know, I think a lot of youngsters have to be awakened and have to give a lot of education to them, because it's a shocking thing. I was really shocked when I heard this, but I'm actually, I have nothing to say, because it's scary. When people ask me sometimes, you know, how do you keep yourself fit? I want to tell them, do what you want to do, eat what you want to eat, and just exercise. That's all.
Be responsible.
You don't have to be,
yes.
you don't have to look like the perfect model all the time.
So it's definitely something that is worth pondering upon. Hemlata avre iga iವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಒಂದು thin line ಇದೆ, ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು, ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. So as a beautician, as a practitioner yourself, where do you draw that line?
ಹೇಳ್ದಾಗೆ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಲೈನ್ ಇದೆ, ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಲೈನ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದು 100% ಟ್ರೂ. ಆದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ನಾವು ಈಗ ಕ್ಲೈಂಟು ಕೂಡ ಚೂಸಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಾಗ ಅವ್ರ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಷಿಯನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಈಗ ನಾವು ರೈಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀವ, ನಾವು ರೈಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ತೊಗೊಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀವ, ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀವ, ಕ್ಲೈಂಟು ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಆ ಥರ ರೈಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದಾಗ ಈ ಥರ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸಮ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ಸ್, ಈಗ ನಾವು ತುಂಬ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ 2 times 3 times ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ನಿಂಗ್, ಸ್ಮೂತ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಈಗ ನನಗೆ 12 years ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸು. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್ಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ 1 year, ಇಯರ್ಲಿ 6 month ಒನ್ಸ್ ರೀಬೌಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಈಗ ಸಮ್ ಹೇರ್ ಗ್ರೌತ್, ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಹೇರ್ ಗ್ರೌತ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಗಲೇ ಒಂದು 5 inches 10 inches ಗ್ರೌತ್ ಆದಾಗ ನಾವು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ರೀಬಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದು ಹೆಲ್ದಿ ಹೇರ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ, ಅವರು ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನೂ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸುಮಾರು ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ 3 times 4 times ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಅಂಥ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅವರು ಹೇರ್ ಹೆಲ್ದಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನಾವು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ವೇಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನೂ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸಮ್ ಹೆವಿ ಸ್ಮೂತ್ನಿಂಗ್, ಇವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಪಲ್ಲವಿ ಅವರು, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಶಾಂಪೂ ಇಂದ ಆಗಲಿ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಬಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಈಗ ಈ ಸ್ಮೂತ್ನಿಂಗ್ಗೆ ಸಮ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಹೇರ್ ಸ್ಪಾ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಇಂಗ್ರೀಡಿಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ದು ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಈಗ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಇಂಗ್ರೀಡಿಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಈ ಬಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ದಾಸಿವಾಳದ್ದು ಕೂಡ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸ್ಮೂತ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿರೋರಿಗೇನೆ ಹೌದು, ತುಂಬಾ ಹೆಲ್ದಿಯಾಗಿ ಮನೇಲಿ ಸಿಗೋಂಥದ್ದು ನೀವು ವೀಕ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ಸ್ 15 days ಒನ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋಮ್ ರೆಮಿಡೀಸ್ ತರನು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇರ್ ಹೆಲ್ದಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ಕೊಡೋ ಶಾಂಪೂ ಇಂದನೇ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಕಂಡೀಷನರ್ ಇಂದನೇ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ.
And as you said, Dr. Venkatram, there are ways that this could have been reversed as well. In this particular young woman's case as well, if she was suffering from severe hair fall, it could have been reversed if she had sought the right
As
compliment.
I said, it's usually self-limiting. Nothing which happens to the hair. Hair, as I said, is non-living. The shaft part.
Right.
So nothing which happens is permanent, because the new generation of his hair is going to come. It's a question of time. So this should be explained. That's what I said. Informed consent is a concept that has been applied traditionally to medical treatments, procedures. See, these treatments, they are basically classified into 3. One is simple beauty procedures which last certain number of days, whether it is a facial or threading or hair straightening, whatever. Next is a cosmetic treatment done by a doctor, which again is temporary, but they last longer. So if it is there is a botulinum toxin injection, whether it is a chemical peel, laser treatments, then you have cosmetic surgery, which have almost a permanent or a very long lasting result, whether it is hair transplantation, liposuction, rhinoplasty. Now the concept of consent, guidelines, protocols, they are fairly well defined for these 2 treatments. But for beauty treatment, there are hardly any, and it is basically unregulated.
Right.
And what has happened over the years is, because of marketing, both by the companies and the media, that line between cosmetic treatments by dermatologists and the beauty, that is getting blurred. So you now have instances wherein laser hair removals are being done by beauty clinics, and that's where I gave today's paper, there is a news report that a clinic has been fined 2 lakh rupees because they give stem cell treatment on PRP, what is we call platelet-rich plasma, 20 times in the beauty clinic. Now, these are things which are not to be done. Now, here the responsibility comes at different levels. The regulatory authorities, they should be checking it. The advertisements, whether they're exaggerated.
Right.
Then the patients who go also should check.
Absolutely.
Now, you want to buy a mobile of 6,000 rupees. How much will you check?
Absolutely.
You go to different sites and check, is it good, is that good?
That's right, that's right.
Now, here you just look at a newspaper ad and then you walk in.
That's the thing, you know, are we scrutinizing this enough? Dr. Girish, real quick over here, these sort of treatments are also being seen by many of the consumers as Dr. Venkatram said, without much scrutiny over here. As a professional yourself, a medical professional yourself, would you even advise going into those treatments? If I could get a quick reaction from you on that.
At this juncture, I would like to point out 2 things. Patient mindset. There are 2 sets of patient. A patient with a single pimple, small pimple, their parents will be very much stressful.
Worried.
Doctor, she got the pimple. Patient is okay. At another end of the spectrum, you have a lot of pimples on the face. Not worried at all.
Yeah.
I have one patient, 24-year-old girl. She is working. That lady, she had complete hair loss, total loss of scalp hair and also body weight. You call it alopecia universalis. It's an autoimmune condition. So she is taking treatment for the last 14-15 years. But she is getting hair, again losing. But she is taking treatment. So she is following,
Yes. So
I have one 70-year-old lady. She comes with Dr. hair loss agtade tumba. But if I see, I don't see much of hair loss.
Absolutely.
Like it's like hair loss is like almost universal. 8 out of 10 patients will complain of the same thing.
Absolutely. I mean,
it's a common thing.
I've been having that for the last 20 years myself, and
it's,
you know, it's a fact that we accept.
It's
really.
like a mindset, like what they expected, what she got it. Then the proper, the golden time, what they missed is appropriate counseling and appropriate treatment at the correct time. When she took, when she found out that she was depressed, that is the time they would have consulted.
That's absolutely right. And you know, since we're coming close to the conclusion of our discussion, I'd like parting words from you, Pallavi, as well. Advice for youngsters who are so social media savvy.
Yeah, social media savvy. Everybody wants to be a celebrity in their own lives. That's how the social media likes and comments have just started, I feel. Everybody wants to be treated special, look special, feel special like a celebrity at all times, which is unhealthy at times, you know. You have to accept reality. At one point of time, accept reality, live the way you want to live, and stop impressing people. Just to impress somebody, going to a salon and spending so much of money is useless. Let people accept you for what you are. Until and unless your condition is really worse, get treated accordingly, but do not go spending so much of money and your time and wasting all of your youth just to try and impress others is of no use.
Absolutely, and you know, I must thank all of you for giving us these tidbits of advice that will go a long way over here. So, you know, to summarize, what we have learned from this episode, this very unfortunate episode that has caused a great deal of devastation to the family involved here, is that yes, there are solutions, but let's look at it from a bigger picture. Beauticians also know very well where the limits are, and they have sought out the customers and said to them, if there is an issue, come back to us. There is a follow-up available. And if that option is not available, go to a doctor, a skin specialist, a dermatologist. They are experienced professionals. They know what needs to be done in order to fix the issue. And social media, the awareness surrounding social media and the kind of likes that people seek on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram and whatnot. There's a lot of visual social media involved. It's all well and good. But at the same time, it's not the end of the world if you do not get your 100 likes or 200 likes. It can be an issue that is easily fixable. And certainly, we hope that this episode, this very unfortunate episode, and the words of our experts, Dr. Venkatram, Dr. Girish, Pallavi, as well as Hemlata, resonate with all those watching. And we're hoping that a lot of young people are watching this right now and understand that there are ways out. There are easy solutions that are available only if you apply yourselves to it and make yourselves a little aware. And when it comes to skin treatments and hair treatments, as Dr. Venkatram rightly pointed out, you spend so many hours or days studying which mobile phone to buy. A little more study on such procedures will certainly go a long way. We thank you for watching this broadcast. Deputy CM showcases insensitive behavior during city rounds, makes his gunman and party worker clean his clothes and shoes. MiG-27 crashes in Jodhpur, Rajasthan. Pilot ejects before crash. Aircraft completely destroyed as a result. Shocking attack caught on camera. A retired police inspector beaten to death by a few miscreants in Uttar Pradesh. Special investigation team confirms Parshuram Wagmore as Gauri Lankesh's murderer. Confirmation comes following FSL report from Gujarat. And Cooperation Minister Pandit Prakashampur seen interacting with vegetable vendors early this morning in Yeshwantpur. Minister was accompanied by officials of concerned department. Hello and welcome to News 9. I'm Nikhil Vasuki. We begin with some big news coming in. Deputy Chief Minister Parmeshwara ducks the question from media over making his gunman clean his dirty shoes. The question to him was, you abolished the orderly system. How can you do this? The Deputy Chief Minister reportedly directed his gunman to clean dirt from his shoes and dress during city rounds in Halsuru. Question from the media: the orderly system was abolished. How could this still be done? And yet there was no response from the Deputy Chief Minister. A controversy that arose when here we have Deputy Chief Minister Parmeshwara in Halsuru doing city rounds. A bit of dirt got onto his trousers and his shoes, and a party worker first started dusting it out, and a gunman took over right away. The purpose of the gunman is to provide security. And if he's taking rounds in the city, it's inevitable that a bit of dust, a bit of mud, a bit of sludge gets splashed onto trousers. But does that warrant a gunman to be asked to clean these trousers? It certainly leaves a lot to be desired as to how this could have been treated, and perhaps it could have been some excellent PR if Parmeshwara had walked on with dirt on his trousers. Well, this has been criticized from various corners as a propagation of a feudal mentality that still exists among those who consider themselves VIPs. And here we have a gunman in charge of the minister's security, dusting out the shoes and dusting out the trousers himself. And what's more, there isn't even much dirt on there, so why was this even required? That is the question that has arisen. But the Deputy Chief Minister has certainly stoked up a great deal of controversy during his inspection, incidentally near a stormwater drain. The media did ask him, why was this so when you categorically banned orderlies? What's the highest system in the police, in the armed forces had already done that. So in the police force, this was taken out. but a completely different picture being painted here. The purpose of a gunman ought to come with certain guidelines. Their chief purpose is to provide security. We've already heard from a great deal of members of the opposition, and they've said that, well, this is nothing but high-handedness at the hands of the Deputy Chief Minister, a criticism that has continued on. The media has questioned him, he's dodged that question. Perhaps does not see the significance. Here, we see the gunman cleaning the shoes.
So
all this was happening when Parmeshwara was inspecting a Rajkalway. Several Rajkalways throughout the city are encroached upon, and it was during this time that some dirt seemed to have splashed onto his trousers. He was accompanied by Mayor Sampath Raj and BBMP Commissioner Manjunath Prasad during these rounds as well. It was bad enough that this particular visit to Halsuru, which was also accompanied by Roshan Beg, there was a great deal of traffic that was caused as a result. And here, after all of this, a little water, you were seen cleaning the Deputy Chief Minister's top and trousers. Now, if this is an inspection of Rajkalways, there is going to be some amount of dirt splashing around. There is bound to be some water from these Rajkalways also, thanks to any projectile that could have fallen into it, birds that were flying in. So this is unavoidable. BJP MLC Tejaswini Gowda joins me on the phone. Tejaswini, thank you for speaking to us. It's rather questionable, isn't it, that the Deputy Chief Minister requires the help of his gunman to have his dress cleaned. Certainly the duty of the gunman is misunderstood.
It's really very unfortunate, and oftenly it is happening, and even media is throwing light on these things. In several places such issues took place. It shows that how netas were insensitive towards their colleagues, okay. Mm-hmm. Not to do such kind of things, okay. Misusing police power, their officials misusing police power, or ministers misusing their gunmen. Mm-hmm. It is really condemnable thing. Mm-hmm. I hope, because I thought Dr. Parmeshwar is very sensitive leader, and even if such a leader is insensitive, I don't know how to react really. He should be a role model. He should be a role model. Okay. Sometimes these guys out of love, affection, out of emotions, they express their thing. They'll do what not unavoidable things. But this kind of things definitely one can avoid.
And certainly one can imagine that here we have a Deputy Chief Minister who has pushed for the removal of the Sahayak system within the police as well. So, the orderly system, to have orderlies within the police to do tasks, menial tasks in the houses of senior police officers, that system has been removed, but we're seeing a different picture being painted here.
In fact, opinion, I feel the kind of works like cleaning of sanitary things, this kind of things, we should not use any diets for that. Okay, they are not down to the community, deprived community. No think they meant clean all ships and all. Okay, let every human being clean his own personal hygienic thing. One has to. if anybody is old due to old age or due to illness, if they were not capable, in such situation, the medical assistance is available. Okay, that is a professional thing. One can afford, one can accept that kind of human service, but not this kind of things. We must use machinery. We are sensitizing the society and system here and then, and particularly, I expect Dr. Parameshwarji is a highly educated person and senior leader in our state, and also belong to the deprived community. So, if such leaders were not able to understand, then we can expect a drastic change in the society.
Absolutely, and also perhaps speaking from a public relations perspective, he's on foot doing an inspection, carrying on, walking like that with dirt on his shoes and his trousers could have actually worked out nicely.
That guy, even if minister says one cannot touch the shoes of someone, okay? Even that boy, he must know while joining the duty, okay, guidelines, he must go through the guidelines. It comes under the human right violation,
Okay.
In the forces also, in the staff also, we must educate them. We must give them strength to against such bad practice.
Right. Well, thank you, Tejaswini, for speaking to us. That was MLC Tejaswini Gowda from the BJP, giving the perspective of the opposition on this. And given that we have Dr. Parameshwara, who had stressed upon the abolition of the Sahayak system, indulging in this himself, well, certainly has led to a lot of questions about the genuineness of such a sentiment. But when the media questioned him as to why, being a proponent for the removal of the Sahayak system, he allowed for this to happen, he just chose to dodge that question, perhaps not considering this as important enough. But these things do matter. These little things do matter. If you are one among the people, don't show a picture where there is somebody else who has to do your work for you. And in this case, a gunman who is tasked with your security. Should he be wiping your shoes? Should he be wiping your kurta, your trousers? Well, you just stand there and let it happen. And you're going back into a dusty path again. So these are the criticisms being leveled against Deputy Chief Minister G. Parameshwara. And when questioned, he just chose to duck that particular question. Certainly something that has left a lot to be desired.
Sir, ಅದು ಕ್ಯಾಚರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ ಸರ್, ಯಾಕೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ ಸರ್, ಯಾಕೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ.
Professor K. Radhakrishna, spokesperson of the Congress, is on the phone with me. Professor Radhakrishna, thank you for speaking to us. You must be aware of this incident from Halsuru where Dr. Parameshwara has overseen a gunman cleaning his shoes and clothes. Not much of a reaction from him, but certainly a lot of criticism over this mentality. How do you respond to that criticism?
It's a very small issue and it need not be actually blown out of proportion.
Okay.
There is no physical violence or anything, insult or humiliation is involved. The gunmen and the drivers over the years develop such an attachment, fatherly, brotherly, such an attachment, and instinctively it happens actually. They grow, they become the part of the family of the leader. Not only gunmen, see in our houses also, if by chance you have a servant maid or somebody, a driver, they develop such an intimacy that they care for your physical well-being so much, and instinctively it happens. And therefore, we should not consider it something very, very atrocious. It's quite natural sometimes it happens. It should not be blown out of proportion.
It's a valid point.
We should also know that how much love and affection Dr. Parameshwara would have actually shown to the gunmen in privacy. That is not being highlighted at all.
Well,
about their food, about their shelter, about their health, and all those things. They are part of the family.
Professor Radhakrishna, a very good point that you made, and largely acceptable as well. But perhaps the narrative over here that has garnered a lot of criticism is that Dr. Parameshwara has been in front of the argument against the continuation of the Sahayak system, for example.
No.
And that is not the picture that is painted here. That is why the criticism has come in.
No. See, these are the issues actually should not be actually blown out of proportion, my dear. This is a very, what you call, sometimes instinctively happens. And we beings are very, very instinctive, all human beings, and therefore not an issue at all. And I have a driver, my driver, if something happens to me immediately, he's the first one to jump and do something to me. He does it. I'm a private man, and therefore you don't focus on me. But somebody is in the public domain, you focus. And media should, if there is a violation of regulatory mechanism, that's a different issue. Hello?
But at the same time, Professor Radhakrishna, one would...
violation of regulatory mechanism.
That's right.
And if somebody openly screams, shouts, etc., humiliates, that's a different issue.
Fair enough point, Professor Radhakrishna, but perhaps...
You must catch that point of mine.
Yes, but at the same time, a lot of care must be taken.
I was a professor of a
allow me, Professor Radhakrishna.
I was a principal of a college,
Right.
How many students of mine, if by chance actually once I broke my chappal, they carried the chappal, they never allowed me to catch the chappal.
Okay.
My students.
See, these are all great points that you're making, Professor Radhakrishna.
No,
but at the same time, if you could allow me,
even in the political life, not only with Dr. Parameshwara,
right?
With anybody, it happens.
Professor Radhakrishna, if you could allow me here, at the same time, a person of his stature, a person of his position, Deputy Chief Minister, after all, a lot of care would go in from a public relations perspective as well, shouldn't it?
The word you used is fair, When the instinctive emotions are there, there is something unfair there. If you have beaten somebody openly, if you have done something, humiliated, and attacked, that's a different issue. This is a different issue.
Right.
See, Dr. Parameshwara was walking, his foot got dirt, his chappals got dirt, shoes became dirty, and immediately somebody cleans it. So what?
Right.
He is my very dear friend. If I would have been there, I also would have done it.
Right. Well, fair enough. Thank you, Professor Radhakrishna, for joining us and giving us your opinion on the matter as well. Just to summarize what Professor Radhakrishna from the Congress said, at the end of the day, from his point of view, it may be a young man who has grown in his career alongside Dr. Parameshwara and felt it out of affection, out of the goodness of his will, that he wanted to clean the dirt off the shoes. But that begs the question, why didn't the Deputy Chief Minister stop him? Why did he allow it to go on? Well, that perhaps is only answerable by the Deputy Chief Minister himself. We'll now slip into a short break. More news and updates are on the other side. Stay with us.
जब किचन में हो कुचीना
तो हर कोई बनाना चाहेगा खाना
कुचीना।
डॉक्टर अंकल सब ठीक तो है ना?
बहुत सीरियस है बेटे। प्रिस्क्रिप्शन ये किया डाउनलोड और ये किया प्रिस्क्रिप्शन क्लिक और हो गए तुम्हारे पापा ठीक। हाँ? अगले महीने भी मेड लाइफ 100% जेन्युइन दवाई समझे लफद्दू।
लफद्दू मत बनो। medlife.com obsessed with health।
जैसी चॉइस सबकी मिलेगी चॉइस। मकान या बिल्डिंग ऑफिस सबकी मिलेगी चॉइस। 1 2 3 4 सारे BHK बंगलोज विलास फ्लैट्स हटके। जिसकी जैसी चॉइस सबकी मिलेगी चॉइस।
Big news coming in from the political front. A BJP MLA has lashed out at the Congress JDS alliance possibilities in Tumkuru. That's the latest coming in. He said, and I quote, "Even if the JDS and the Congress form an alliance, it will be aborted soon." This is MLA Jyoti Ganesh who said so. We are ready to face anything. Jyoti Ganesh is the BJP MLA from within Tumkuru, who has lashed out at the Congress JDS alliance in Tumkuru. Possibilities of them has said that even if the JDS and the Congress form an alliance, it will come to a quick end, and that we are ready to face anything. Jyoti Ganesh, who is the MLA, has spoken about this in the immediate aftermath of the local body polls and the counting that took place all of yesterday. Well, Jyoti Ganesh made the statement to a gathering. Let's listen in.
ಸರ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಹೇಳ್ದಷ್ಟು ಸುಲಭ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಅವರು 10+10 20 ಆಗಿಬಿಡ್ತದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಭಾರಿ ರಾಜಕೀಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಳ್ಳು. ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಅಷ್ಟು ಸುಲಭವಾಗಿ ಅದು ನಿಮಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಅದು ಪೂರ್ತಿ ನೋಡೋಣ ಏನೇನು ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಅಬಾರ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ ಒಂದೊಂದ್ಸಲಿ. ಈ ಒಂದು ದೃಷ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೋಣ ಸರ್, ಸಮಯ ಬಂದಾಗ ಟೈಮೇ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಏನೇನು ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ.
A key word used there by Jyoti Ganesh, abortion. That the numbers that were to add up are not going to add up. It is not as simple as it is being made to look. And this possibility of a tie between the JDS and the Congress is but wishful thinking. This is what Jyoti Ganesh, the Tumkuru BJP MLA, stated. Now, this is in the immediate aftermath of the counting for the urban local body polls, and Jyoti Ganesh once again said that the JDS-Congress alliance is not here to stay in this particular area local body setup. Now, an LPG cylinder exploded, gutting a house entirely. This happened in Davangere. The incident took place at Goppenahalli in Channagiri Taluk. A woman was at the house at the time of the blast, and she is said to be in a critical condition. This is what has happened to the structure as a result of this explosion. Sometimes pipes are ill-fitting. The gas cylinder and the pressure differential causes these large explosions. The woman is in a critical condition after she suffered severe burns, while firefighters rushed to the spot and struggled to douse the fire for quite some time, as liquefied petrol and gas particles are still mixing with the air and need a lot of delicate tending. A woman was grievously injured in this fire accident that took place in Davangere. This is what remains of the gas cylinder after the explosion completely mangled. There is also what appears to be the remnants of a motorcycle completely destroyed, blown away from the vicinity of that particular house. There is another shack right next to a shop next to this house, which appears to be not so much of a permanent structure in itself. There was one woman inside the house. She's grievously injured as well. Her condition is yet to be determined. It took quite a while for firefighters to reach the spot, as it is in quite a secluded area. Now, the wild elephant menace has continued in Hassan as a herd of elephants barged into a coffee plantation. Laborers who were working in the plantation ran for their lives as the jumbos completely destroyed the plantation. Residents were seen fuming against forest officers for not taking any action despite several complaints. This is in Sakleshpur, Hassan, common ground for elephant corridors, and eventually the man and animal conflict has compounded to such a great extent that elephants are having to find their corridors through land that has now been inhabited and occupied by human beings who have started plantations there. Elephants unfortunately have no other way to go, but while plantations have grown over several decades, these elephants end up destroying these plantations and leading to several losses for farmers who, unbeknownst to them, are actually on elephant corridor land. This has been reported from Sakleshpur, and a herd of elephant, at least 10 elephants can be seen in the vicinity. Some of them do go a little rogue out of frustration when the amount of land available for them to eat, to walk, and to sleep is gravely reduced, and they start storming into human habitation and get quite destructive. Now, residents of Madhuvana layout in Chikmagaluru are a troubled lot as petrol theft from bikes has been going on unabated. A CCTV capture from the locality shows two youths stealing petrol from motorcycles. Here is one looking around and stealthily stealing petrol from one of the bikes, siphoning it out of the tank. This incident took place at around 5:30 a.m. on the 2nd of September. Petrol thieves are seen stealing fuel from bikes parked in front of a particular house in Chikmagaluru. Eventually, the young man rides on pillion. He's dropped off by his friend. They start stealing petrol. Look around to see if anybody is looking. But unbeknownst to him, his face can very clearly be seen on CCTV. His friend comes around eventually and rides away. Petrol siphoning illegally has been on a rampant streak for quite some time now. A shocking incident reported from Uttar Pradesh. A retired police inspector was beaten to death by some miscreants. This entire incident was caught on CCTV. Here initially was one man who is brandishing a stick and severely beating the man who was pulled out of his motorcycle as well. And just when he's slowing down, there are two others who come rushing and continue beating the man, who suffered severe blunt force trauma and ended up being in the hospital. Onlookers could do nothing. There are three goons who are hitting an elderly man. According to sources, the violence was triggered over a land dispute in Allahabad. The miscreants started thrashing the retired policeman with wooden sticks in broad daylight. Later, the retired policeman succumbed to his injuries at the hospital after not responding to treatment. The whole incident was recorded on CCTV, and the police are investigating the issue from all possible angles. An Indian Air Force fighter jet crashed in an empty field in Devriya village near Banar in Jodhpur, Rajasthan due to a technical snag. The pilot was able to escape unhurt. The crash was that of a Miko and MiG-27, a fighter jet, which resulted in a large fire raging in the area. A fire truck reached the spot. Almost immediately, several Air Force officers and police personnel also reached the site. The aircraft had taken off from the Air Force station before it crashed in the field. There are only two squadrons remaining of the MiG-27, which is largely discontinued by the Indian Air Force, used mainly for payload testing. And both these squadrons are based out of Jodhpur. The aircraft crashed during a routine mission, and a court of inquiry will investigate the cause of the accident. Meanwhile, the pilot was found lying just outside the crash site as well, following procedure, lying in that position until medical assistance got to him, but he was responsive to questions. He was offered water in the immediate aftermath. By the looks of it, he has ejected just barely moments prior to this crash that took place because of a technical issue. MiG-27s are discontinued now, but are still being used for payload testing. They're no longer used for sorties. They're no longer used for any reconnaissance missions either. And that's a wrap on this edition of the Bulletin. We leave you with Sports Superfast.
After the loss in Southampton Test, Indian captain Virat Kohli has said that the team has to learn the art of crossing the line under pressure cooker situations. Virat Kohli continues to lead the batting charts and once again finished as the #1 batsman in Test cricket in the latest ICC rankings. Indian pacer Jasprit Bumrah jumped 487 points to reach number 37th in the Test rankings for bowlers after playing 2 tests against England. Indian pacer Mohammad Shami, who bagged 4 wickets in the second innings in Southampton, has made a comeback in the top 20 rankings for bowlers. Shami is currently placed at the 19th spot. After a gritty 63 in the second innings in Southampton, England's Joss Buttler has attained a career highest rank of 32 in the latest ICC Test rankings. Discarded Indian opener Gautam Gambhir has slammed Team India for their approach while chasing 245 runs in the 4th Test in Southampton and said that the score was a chaseable one. Gautam Gambhir believes that the Asian Games winners are bigger heroes than cricketers who have brought laurels for India at the international stage. Former Australian all-rounder Shane Watson isn't surprised with India's struggle in England and believes that no international team has the ability to play swing well these days. England opener Alistair Cook announced his retirement from international cricket on Monday. The 5th Test against India at the Oval will be Cook's last for England. Alistair Cook will play his last Test for England at the Oval, but he will continue to feature for Essex County Club.